Hello and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. Today we are going to answer the burning questions of why there are NFTs in your toys. I am your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I am joined by the founder of the Neck Illuminati, the YouTube wife, the procrastinator of pre-orders, the delayer of shipments, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar _games. But that's not all. I'm also joined by the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over, the man Optimus Prime popped and he refuses to stop, the man... Or wait, no, sorry, Jamar's distracted me because he's like acting like I missed something. The Twilight Knight, the Master of Mech, the three-pump chump of taking the show off the rails, Nate.
Oh, no, I was just questioning, is it Mrs. Toy Fair? And I'm like, how did I let that go? I was just more so questioning.
Oh, you didn't realize you took my last name this entire time? been fucking almost 2 years and you're just now...
You're also Mrs. Dr. Modern Toy Fair.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But I think is that only on Toy Therapy?
That's only on Toy Therapy.
Yes.
You don't get
That's
the
what
doctor.
you have
I don't.
to.
Neither of us get the doctor title unless we're on Toy Therapy.
Yeah.
So,
There you go. I'm more of a PhD. I don't practice.
Right.
I just, Well, yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
I'm an LPN and not an RN.
Yeah.
So
and you know, of all these acronyms, it's a great lead-in to the fact that tonight we're going to be talking about NFTs.
I did that on purpose.
I really hope you did, because that'd be fantastic. So let's this is all coming from some recent news from Hasbro. But first let's discuss what an NFT is for anyone who's like acronyms what. So it is non-fungible token. The easiest understanding is it is a piece of digital art where your specific digital tag is attached to the blockchain, which is the code within that art. So that way forever someone knows that you owned it at some point in time. It's essentially like having your signature on the back of a painting you bought, because that's something you do, except for it's digital. And so Jarmar, did I explain that well enough, or do you have things to add?
I just have to just admit that I'm thoroughly impressed, because anytime I'm trying to explain what an NFT is to someone, I start talking for about 5 seconds and realize this is all pointless. And what am I saying? So you did a really great job. That was
Thank you.
Really, really great.
I 100% only probably explained that well because I worked tech support, so I had to explain to old people over the phone how to use their cable boxes. So I had to learn how to make those connections between everyday life and things that are technical to people.
Okay.
So
for a second there, I thought
and
you sold NFTs to people with cable.
yeah,
is
that's
I
exactly
was
what we did.
thinking.
Really, I mean, that's the future. Let's be honest. You're going to be calling in because your cable's a little fuzzy, and next thing you know, you're going to have an NFT of LeBron in your email. But anyway, so that's what an NFT is. Realistically, the biggest question is obviously, why are we discussing this? This is a toy channel. Like,
Yes.
NFTs are a digital art currency that people with money are using. I can't. That's the thumbnail right there. Nope, it gets better. Okay. So recently, Hasbro has been teasing for months and months and months their starting lineup line that's coming out. They finally announced the price point, and announced that each figure will come with a figure itself, a trading card, and an NFT for the low price of $49.99. So that's why we're discussing it, because it's an interesting kind of turn of events where we never thought this day would probably like come realistically, where something like that seems so far left field from our hobby would invade our hobby in such a aggressive way, really, considering it raised the price of an action figure probably $20.
Very likely.
do you think that?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in the camp that I think most of that cost came from Nike and NBA licensing, along with having to license everyone's faces. But I do think that they probably did throw in some extra profit for themselves for this NFT idea.
So as the person who was, the resident sports ball aficionado,
Yes.
right? I would say that's fair.
The one who was most excited for this line and then most disappointed when it got finally officially announced.
So it doesn't kind of sell the story of like how they drip fed this whole lineup coming out of, silhouette photos of the figures, and you're like, oh, here they come, they're gonna announce it. And then we finally get the announcement, and I didn't even know the price initially. I just finally saw the figures, and I was excited. And I'm like, where do I sign up to give my money? Because I need Giannis, I need LeBron, and, probably an Embiid as well. And then, this is something that I've just been looking forward to for a while. I've been trying to buy a LeBron for a long time. I think OnlyFigs had one.
Yeah, they had. I think they have. Do they have one or two? They might have.
They
two.
have Jordan too.
I wasn't sure if they did
Either
a
way,
with a different jersey or something. I don't know.
That's not necessarily LeBron. It's some weird looking person who plays basketball.
OnlyFigs doesn't do well with the live action. It's pretty. It's 50-50.
It's fair. But this was like the most exciting thing for me, and I got the price, and obviously the trading card was the first thing I think is something that is like, okay, most of the times I open a McFarlane figure, you got that little card there. All right, that goes in the trash. I don't know. Is that an accessory?
No, I throw those away too because they
okay.
are...
No.
That's safe.
Oh my God. What?
You keep this shitty little trading card?
In my McFarlane figure? No.
Oh,
okay.
Starting lineup?
Well, no,
absolutely. Starting lineup is.
I mean, that's a top trading card. Thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But that original, like the original starting lineup, because I was 10 years old when those came out. All right. So showing my age because I just turned 44. Those came out when I was 10 years old, and they came out. Well, it was different back then because they came out with everybody. But I could have my own Corey Snyder from the Cleveland Indians from the 1987 team. I had him. I had, Joe Carter, Julio Franco. Never mind that there was only 4 faces. White guy with mustache, black guy with mustache. That's all you had. But the trading card was a huge part of it because that's where the line, comes from. It started because sports cards, bringing the sports cards into the collectible toy market with what was then semi-articulated miniature statues. So that's where I will disagree that the card is something that you would throw away.
I just want to clarify. I didn't realize he was talking about throwing away the trading card that came with it. I thought we were discussing throwing away the McFarlane card. So that's why I was like, I throw that away too. That's
okay. All right.
I don't want to be an offender.
Especially now that McFarlane doesn't even license the artwork. He just fucking takes promo pictures of his own fucking figures. And I'm like, why do I need this?
What I was saying
is gone.
No, that's what I was saying. McFarlane card, cool. I get a trading card. That's in my mind. I'm like, cool, a card, whatever. And then you hear this digital NFT thing, and I'm like, okay, what is going on? But I before I was gonna go on a rant of like how this is ruining everything, but you actually make a really good point, and I think you've just kind of changed my mind. I still hate that it is an NFT because I feel like it's hop on the train kind of thing. But if that's historically accurate, and I have to believe you as the wise gentleman with the beard, winking a nod to what we were talking about before.
Let's not nod to that at all.
That makes a lot of sense that they're trying to do the same thing in this new, digital era. I still hate it, but that makes sense. But I guess, yeah, okay. I feel like I just was educated about something that I hated. Mm-hmm. I still hate it, but like I feel more educated about it. If that
I see where you're coming from. I agree. It does feel very like it's very much trying to cash in on something that they heard was cool. Like, oh, the kids love NFTs. We're going to do NFTs. But I also do think that they are trying to go after a different market with this, which is what starting lineup was always about. That's why they weren't originally action figures. They were articulated statues that you could move around and came with that card for kids to play cards. Because I was really into baseball cards when I was a kid because my brother was really into baseball and that's where it started. Yeah. So like I definitely I remember getting these, but this line, and I'll come back to it because I'm already being accused of somewhat being a Hasbro shill, and while
You weren't even here for that episode.
I know, but I was here in spirit. I mean,
Well, he was here. It was just, it was.
Listen, no,
I
we
was-
had the whole
I was-
discussion
I was-
on OnlyFigs. It was a different tip that you guys touched. You didn't fuse. It was awkward.
Oh,
it was weird.
That's-
It was weird. But I'll get back to this because I think this line is cool.
So real quick, I just want to. So I have a theory that kind of aligns a lot with what you were saying.
Mhm.
I think that they knew that this line isn't for action figure collectors. It's
Mhm.
for the sports ball fans. And what do sports ball fans usually collect? Baseball cards. And what's the
Yes.
purpose of that? Usually to find the valuable ones. The baseball, or like basketball, all of those cards, most of those collectors are looking for the investment aspect of it. They're not collecting it because of the pretty picture. So what else would have
Some of it definitely, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's more pronounced in that area of collecting than it is in action figures. So what would someone who is potentially a value collector and is looking for an investment also be interested in? NFTs. So I
NFTs,
think Nate's right. I think they're trying to reach a different demographic with that, and the more they throw in there, the more they think they're, enticing
land.
that person.
Right. My question though comes up. So from what I understand, and again,
I think
just
you're saying
turned
the same thing I'm
44, so I'm old, and you're gonna have to explain this to me. I always got the impression that NFTs were unique, and so your name is attached to a unique. So how many different NFTs do they have to make, and where are these coming from? Is it just
Exactly.
are they taking a moving image of LeBron and just
Frame by
one
frame?
screenshot? Yeah, is it
No,
NFT?
I think if I'm not mistaken, because the NBA had already done this, or I think it was Topps that started doing this initially with like these digital trading cards, which was a NFT, and what they were using was highlights. So you would have a specific highlight. Now, I don't know all the details with Hasbro and what they intend on doing, but I don't think it's Hasbro actually. It's they partner with another company. I think it's like Panini,
Isn't it?
or something.
Yeah,
It's
which is
something-
the
Bar and Grill?
yeah Panini.
I think
Oh.
yeah. The
For those who don't know, Panini is like a huge company in Europe. So they did like Doctor Who magazine, like all the big magazines, like fan base magazines were all Panini, and the sticker books and all that stuff was Panini. In the US, they were around, but a little bit smaller. But they recently acquired Topps. Topps lost the MLB license and were no longer going to be able to make cards. But then Panini acquired them, and then they now make Topps cards again.
So
So-
Panini kind of like
It's a parent
made a
company kind of thing,
sandwich of Topps and just
Right.
pressed.
Kind of like how originally starting lineup was Kenner, and then Hasbro. Boom.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Made it. So this is basically just a cycle of things that happened in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense. You also didn't respond to my panini sandwich reference, but
Right.
it's
fair.
fine.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
I feel
I was-
the love.
I was trying
No,
to
but-
keep on my train of thought. I'm only
Yeah,
I
and
might be I'm a 3-pump chump of taking the show off the rails, but I'm only a one rail thought process. I am easily
derailed.
sidetracked.
Yeah.
Sandwiches are a good sandwiches.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
If you had
Sandwiches.
gone Italian beef or hero or something like that. But to me, I'm not as big into paninis. I
panini
don't
is
like
basically
regular,
a grilled cheese.
I don't
sandwich.
like
That's
well
it.
that with French fries. I don't like French fries. It's a whole thing. I don't.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well,
more you
yeah.
know.
yeah, we need to change the sandwich
Right.
now.
So-
this is all educational.
Real quick though, that's what I was saying is that I
For
believe
someone
that
who doesn't know what they're talking about.
you're gonna get different highlights. So depending on you'll get a LeBron, but it'll have a different highlight. How will there be
How
100
though?
million?
I
don't know.
Well, not 100
Not
million.
because
I have
100
to
million. I
assume
know, but-
bare minimum they're gonna do a printing of probably 10,000 of each figure. We'll say bare minimum,
Fair.
because that seems to be their kind of at least with the HasLabs, that's the number range that they go for to get it made. So I have to assume they have to do a large order to make
At
this worth their
least.
while.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you're gonna tell me that they're going to make 10,000 different NFTs.
Well, yeah, because LeBron's been playing for like 20 years.
But that's the amount of effort that's going to go into that.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
But no, I'm just saying.
No, because it would have to be like a Lakers highlight because he's in a Lakers uniform
That's
as his
very
figure.
true.
So
Very true. Very true.
that's definitely my question, Michael. But I also thought about like, I wonder how do they have to take into account that they know a certain number are not going to be opened.
That's what I
They
was just
probably
gonna
aren't.
say.
Yeah.
I think you have to redeem the NFT.
Yeah.
That's, I would assume for
Yeah.
you to be a part of the
So-
blockchain, you probably have some QR code you have to scan, create an account, and it puts you in there. It'd be my
So-
best guess. But my thing is, I would assume because it would explain the price, I guess, if it is the NFT that's driving up the cost, the amount of money they'd have to pay to have 10,000 different highlights per figure at that point. Because you're paying someone to go and make those NFTs at that point and do all the back,
I think you're
data
putting
stuff.
more credit into what an NFT, the creation of it, and maybe it's just because I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, I don't know. This is all new to me. Like,
So,
I just want to talk
usually
about
an NFT,
basketball.
think of it in most cases, from what I've seen, a trading card with a GIF inside.
Right.
Yeah, that's normally
Right.
what it
No,
is.
I
It's just like a
understand.
gift.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also heard
wanna look up.
they're not like
Super complicated.
Well, I mean,
they're
like
not
I could create one.
ecologically sound like what? That doesn't make sense to me.
Like you
That
have
they're
to,
like somehow bad for the environment.
Oh, it's because of
I've heard that.
it's probably because of like blockchain and stuff is normally used, I believe, with all the Bitcoin stuff and people who mine data for that, which uses a bunch of electricity and it's bad for the environment or something. I think I
I
don't
think
know.
that's what it is.
Or maybe they just put a bunch
Okay.
of cows on wheels and they fart a bunch because they're feeding them a lot, and that's
Okay.
bad for the environment. Who knows?
I'm not
That is bad for the
sure
environment.
if that's correct, but
We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, we'll go with
that's canon now. I don't care what anyone says. It's
so
NFTs.
I was
cause
gonna try
votes.
and look it up real quick, but I couldn't find it. But we'll put a pin in that. Maybe we can
Well,
discuss that.
my understanding is somehow there'd have to be some sort of security measure. Otherwise, anyone could add their name to the blockchain. You have to have someone who is able to code to make it so it can put your stuff in it because you're the owner. Otherwise, anyone could steal it and falsify it. So there's got to be something more to it than just, it's a picture that you can pass around like a trading card and your name just happens to be embedded in the code. Otherwise,
Yes
it's completely pointless.
I think what it is you're creating the Panini account, and it somehow tracks your NFTs because they do other things. This isn't their first dip of the toe, as you will, in the NFTs.
Oh, I know. There's tons of NFTs.
You would create your locker through. That's a crypto word. If you guys aren't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making a sports ball reference.
Oh, that's
Okay.
too good.
All right, real quick.
But
real quick,
you go ahead.
real quick. Let's stop with the snide sports ball. We demand respect.
No.
Give respect.
That was a crypto. That was
No.
No, he's
I'm
talking to me.
Michael, not you.
Listen. Everyone knows that I call it sports ball. Sports ball is an all-encompassing term because
I
all
know.
the sports require a ball.
But it's you did say it with a certain amount of
Oh, I
sass.
always do because
Yeah,
I don't like the
because
sports
he's
ball.
like,
I know you don't.
oh.
And also, we don't demand respect at all. What are you talking about? I already know that if we demand respect, we wouldn't be shamefully pretending that action figures are for our imaginary children at the store. Just saying.
Oh, I don't.
Whoa, I mean, in my case, they are just not while I'm alive.
Yeah.
What?
They're all his when I die.
They're all-
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
I was very confused.
so-
I'm like, wait, you're well, that's fine.
So yeah, you create your locker. Now you have your wallet with Panini, and your cards or your NFT is going to save there. So I don't think that it is super high security, cracking into Mark Zuckerberg's currency, Facebook coin. I'm just saying things that sound very.
You're saying words that we don't understand. So,
But no,
Yeah.
I don't think that they're out here making sure that no one steals your, gift of LeBron. I think
But
you
isn't
have
that the
to
point? Like,
understand
otherwise,
Yeah.
you're spending because NFTs are supposed to be this super valuable like
Wait,
digital
here's the thing.
currency.
I mean, this is one that's coming with
Oh, I'm aware this one
a
isn't.
figure.
But I have to
Right.
assume if you're gonna, there should be a standard across the board of how an NFT works. Otherwise, then that's even fucking
Sure.
shittier than it
But
already
it's like
sounds.
it's like a stereo though. Like you have a really nice stereo,
good one.
or you have a free stereo that you got for like logging into,
Wait, I just love that. It's a stereo.
Can we explain
It's
to
these,
maybe the potential
44.
younger viewers what a stereo is?
All right.
It's
So
like
you
an
got
iPod with headphones.
They
but
don't
it's
know
like
what an iPod
this
is either.
big-
Yeah,
It's like your phone, but you put these things in it. Anyways, so yeah, I don't. The funny thing and the fun thing actually with NFTs is I don't believe there's a complete across the board standardized way of how things are done. It just has to use the blockchain, and
The blockchain.
that's where I think
Is that
this is-
real or is it the cloud? Like,
no, it's a real thing, which is like what a cloud is basically a connected amount of servers,
Right.
but the blockchain is like that, but it instead of being on like Apple servers or Google servers, it's on all of the servers at one given time. I think I'm explaining.
is it on my server?
If you were open to having the blockchain on there, I don't know how that works.
I'm open to a lot of things.
Just open
I
to
like
that.
to experiment. I
If
like
you
to have
open
a good
yourself to the
time.
blockchain,
I'm opening myself up to the blockchain.
just open up. Just open up.
I'm opening up.
And
Oh wow, you're surprisingly
I don't
flexible.
think the blockchain has to
Yes.
go that direction. Just so you know.
I just have to appreciate Nate's instant like generic sitcom response to the fancy blockchain. He's like, "Is it like the cloud?"
That did feel like early 2000. What was the movie? I can't remember it, but yeah, I think it was called Sex Tape with Cameron Diaz and
and that dude from that show that was good for a while.
yeah. Yep. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Sure.
yeah,
I do.
my thing though with this, and I think we're kind of trying to. I don't know if you're trying to direct this conversation in this direction.
No, because I know you had a few things you wanted to touch on, so I was kind of letting you direct traffic.
Do we necessarily want this? And I know like my initial thought was I don't like it. I don't want NFTs in my already unhealthy habit as it is. And so I don't need them merging other things into this. Like we have a very good understanding with Hasbro at this point. Good in quotes, because depending on what side you are on every HasLab,
Depending on what week and what we can get views out of, we're on good understanding.
Right. You may or may not be on a good footing with Hasbro, but for the most part, they supply figures. We buy the figures if we can, and a lot of times we argue about whether they're worth it or not, right? But this year brings in a whole
We've built a whole thing about it.
This now just brings in a whole new thing of is this for us? And I think on the last episode we talked about it and said, hey, every HasLab may not be for you. I think we said that.
Yeah.
Everything isn't for everyone.
It should.
Right?
You should have.
Yeah, we did.
But
We said it multiple times and it didn't matter.
It just feels weird to me that they're taking something that I had an excitement for, and now they're making it for someone else. But maybe they were making this for the person who already wanted it, and I was trying to take it, and they were like, "No, this isn't for you." You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does. I'll give my parting thoughts on this because I'm gonna go a little bit. I mean, not necessarily a parting thought, but
I was like, "Are you leaving us?" I was like, "We still have to do OnlyFigs, so I don't know where you're going."
Yeah, I've emancipated myself, so you no longer have custody.
Oh shit!
But yeah,
didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you're about to get served. Anyway,
another movie.
I feel like the NFT is really more of just a buzz thing. I don't know how much it's driving the cost. I don't know about cost. I try to understand it to be realistic. I look at these though, and I see that you get a highly articulated, action figure of, NBA superstars of some kind. You get a ball, usually I think with every single one. I don't know if there's like different hands or things like that, but you do also get
Did
like
they
a really
confirm you get a
cool
ball?
stand.
Because I thought someone pointed out that in the description it doesn't list the ball.
Some of them
That would
have
be
to,
very
they
weird.
show them.
But
Yeah,
that
I
could be a
think that
part
they
because I
come
think
with
they're
it.
going to a play set thing that you can buy separately that has a hoop with a flight stand.
And the stand doesn't come with it because I assume the stand came with it.
Yeah, everyone did.
Oh, it does not.
Especially for $50.
Yeah, it
It
does
does
not.
not.
Mm-mm.
I thought it did too, but it does not. It does not.
Ooh. Well then,
Nate's changed his mind.
I thought the ball and stand are now in question. But here's what I will say. I get prices are out of hand. We don't really understand what is greed. We don't understand what is being passed on to the customer as a cost because the prices are just steadily increasing, and it weirdly so. We're looking at 6-inch figures being almost $30 now for Marvel and Star Wars and things like that, sometimes more. So for these to be $50, on one hand, I'm like, that's outrageous. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, Super 7s, they're $55. I understand those are smaller run, made to order type things, but these are real people. The likenesses look to be very good. The licenses, I mean, sports teams they're all different now. It's not an all-encompassing. As far as I understand, the research that I did, because I did look into the history of starting lineup a little bit, is that the different teams can cost more, and I can't imagine that Nike is inexpensive. But to be authentic, because the uniforms are Nike, most of the shoes that a lot of the players wear, I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them are Nikes. That's a very expensive license, even though it's a advertisement, really. You were just talking though about the Mayfex figures. How much are those? How much did that come out at retail? How much is it now in the secondary market?
About the same as
we
they were
do
at retail.
give compliments. Okay. But we do talk about, we've talked about it in months past, that these newer Hasbro figures are more incredible than they've ever been, and we're almost at import quality. So we want this constant upgrade in our figures and for them to be better and have better paint apps and all this stuff. But when the prices increase, that's when we start complaining. Again, we don't really know what is, a fake price increase or an actual valid price increase. And I'm not going to try to figure it out. I don't have the answers. But the more I thought about it for what it is for the $55 or the $50, I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's not for me. But again, someone who maybe just likes a certain player or a certain team, a $50 figure for LeBron James isn't really, they're not going to think twice about it because this is the one that they're going to get. Or if they are going to get multiples, these are all that they're going to get. So, and I think the NFT, I don't think it costs as much as Michael does. But then again, I also don't really understand it. So I'm talking totally out of my ass. And I feel that's like an attachment to advertise and have a buzzword, so then potentially the $50 price point is easier to accept.
I mean,
I'll take my answer off the air.
If there isn't some expectation of it being a secure thing to make sure that no one can falsify it, then I don't think it's a major cost driving factor. I still think it's the licensing. I think you're paying for the face, the logos, and the NBA jerseys and team names and all that is what's driving up the cost. And I think you are right. I think that the NFT aspect of it is probably something to try to give the illusion of more value, and it's just a buzzword.
And showing pictures with stands and balls. That also creates a sense of value that maybe isn't there.
That maybe not there.
As far as it goes, to answer your question, Jarmar, I don't want it. It needs to stay over there in the sports fan section of the collection. Because I'll tell you right now, if they try that with, Legends or Star Wars or something, I already don't buy a lot of their stuff. That will 100% kick me out of it because I'm not going to pay extra for a buzzword.
Yeah, if it affects the price, absolutely not. Now, if it doesn't affect the price, I don't care. It's just something else. It's like a digital code in my movies half the time that I don't use. Like, whatever. Like,
you throw those away?
No, I have.
I know. I'm just.
No. I want to go into my. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. It's very easy.
So you're selling an NFT of a movie, is what you're
Yeah,
doing.
Basically.
basically.
Except for
Yeah.
there's no
Now
expectation
you
that you own
understand.
the original.
Now you get NFT. No, so I guess my thought going into this was that I was getting Marvel Legends meets NBA, and that's not what I'm getting. So the thing is, I'm still holding out judgment. I hate the NFT aspect and stuff just because it seems like fishy and catchy and whatnot. So I do want to see the figures. If it's a good LeBron for $50, I'll probably end up getting it and cross my fingers that they'll make a Cavs player. But I guess I want to know, like, how well is it, articulated compared to a Marvel Legends?
I mean,
If it
they've
is
got close
just
up
a Marvel,
pictures of all the figures.
aren't those renders though?
But still, I mean, the renders are showing you what the articulation is going to be when it comes out. The only time they've really stiffed anybody on that is with the most recent Mystique figure. She was shown off with double jointed elbows in the render, and they went with single jointed when the figure came out. Other than that, they
Okay.
usually are pretty close.
It just I'd still hold on my judgment to see the actual figure. I don't know if the licensing. I
You won't,
think
because
personally,
they'll probably be closed boxed.
that is very true.
Which,
But
oh my
someone
god,
will
that's an
review
aspect I
them.
didn't think about. So if
Stealing the NFT code. Yeah.
no, not
I
even
thought
that.
about that.
Not even that. I'm
Oh.
thinking of the aspect of earlier when I mentioned that, like, the big selling point for this is going to be towards that value collecting aspect of it. It's not for inbox collectors then, because you're just going to have a fucking box of a picture of the toy on it.
Right,
Is
but then
it
it's again a sports collectible. These are people who collect cards and such.
I mean,
that-
I guess
that is
I've known people who've, like, collected, like, the Wheaties boxes and shit. So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
I've never spent $50 for Wheaties or cereal, but that I wasn't going to
you've
eat.
never tried, cereal for people on keto.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
That doesn't even taste good. Sponsor us though.
That's not
Magic
how that works.
food.
I can really lost train of thought. Anyways, yeah. So what I was saying is, I looked up Hasbro.
Panini.
It sounds like this SNL skit. There is a Power Ranger figure that they announced last year that had something with the black chain or the black chain.
Whoa,
The
whoa!
blockchain. I guess.
Can you explain that one to us? 'Cause that one sounds way cooler.
I can't really let you guys know anything more about. I shouldn't even actually let that slip.
We aren't part of the cool. I get it.
No,
That's
there's
fair.
Power Ranger figures that were announced last year that had this. So I don't think that this is the end of this NFT discussion. I think that we will start to see it more and more.
Right.
And I actually want to see it in Marvel Legends only for the sole fact because that will let us know how much the difference is and what they seem to value, a NFT for their figures. Because we already have a pretty good understanding of, even though the price just keeps happening to go up, up, and up, we have a decent understanding of how much a Marvel Legends figure is.
I mean, I know how much it costs stores, but I don't know how much it costs Hasbro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I just would like to see now what Hasbro says. Okay, well, all of your, your Black Series figures, they're going to have a really cool NFT from the movies. And now we'll see how much that costs, that Black Series figure now. If it's $50.
See, I don't like that experiment, Jamar, because that's how you kill toy lines. You're
Well,
like, I just want to know how much more this is going to cost. Let's throw it in there just so I can have this knowledge. And then people get pissed because their toy went up $10 and they quit buying them, and then the toy line goes away.
Well, I mean, they'll react to the market response.
I mean, true, they did react to the fact that the HasLab is not doing well after not reaching its goal by Friday, because now they are including the Robbie Reyes head regardless, as long as it funds by the 31st. So they are able to react. They just don't always do it in the best way.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see this in the future and how well this goes. Or not how well this goes. I hope it sucks. But I appreciate the wisdom of you, Nate, though, shining light on the idea that this is just more sports memorabilia and not necessarily a figure for me per se. So, that's gonna be fun trying to buy that. Hopefully they're not still stabbing people over like Pokemon cards and stuff, right?
No, because that people went back to work, so they had things to do.
Okay. Okay. I just don't want to get stabbed trying to get a LeBron figure from a Target.
I mean, you might still, because
that's true. I mean, but I'd rather it just happen because it was gonna happen versus it happened because I was buying a LeBron figure that someone else wanted. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna stab me going into a Target, I just hope you just pop out and stab me at the carts.
Don't some cities have like sports fans who flip cars and light them on fire when they win?
Yeah,
but
we don't have a winning team. Well, we do right now, but
I get it that in Ohio they don't have a whole lot of that, but I'm just saying if that's how they
friendly
celebrate
fire.
winning, that's a friendly fire. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be friendly fire.
Everyone who flipped that car over and caught it on fire are very excited that the Guardians have won the World Series.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's a situation where they win, they get violent. Just imagine how violent they get if it's fighting over the last LeBron figure.
Well, see, we're safe. I'm safe here. I think for the most part, LeBron may be a little bit easier to get in the location, and I don't want to dox myself, Canton, Ohio. And I don't really care. But yeah, I think we'll be a little bit safe in here. And I say we, as all of us.
I ain't getting a LeBron figure. I ain't getting stabbed.
No, I'm just saying that we as in location. Anyways, all right. That's
you're saying that I moved back to Ohio, so we're all doxed now.
If I'm doxed, we're all doxed. If it sounds like a dox,
so
it's.
I don't live anywhere near you guys.
I mean, I don't live anywhere near him either.
That is technically true.
Fucking have to drive at least a half hour to get to him.
I'm joking.
So there is one thing that you brought up in our text earlier that you didn't bring up this time, and that was the question of if this is going to bring along more scalpers.
Oh, that's what I was trying to allude to earlier, and I lost train of thought.
Okay.
Yes, that is my other concern, and that's again, the getting stabbed is we're adding more people into this pool, which is good for Hasbro. That means their pockets are going to get fatter, but we're adding more. Yeah, bad for us. So, like you said, things have changed in the world of collecting. Prices just are more expensive, and not everyone buying it. I think.
Real quick, when does this line supposed to ship? Have they announced?
Isn't it this year?
I don't know.
I would assume.
I saw the $50 price tag. I'm like, well, Jarmar's out, so I didn't bother looking into it too much.
I'm gonna assume October because the NBA starts in October.
Considering we haven't even seen, we've only seen renders. I can't imagine it's October.
Yeah,
October of next year.
Give me 5 seconds.
That's the way the Hasbro.
Well, you have 5 seconds there. I just wanted to say something too. If it doesn't come out soon, it's also going to be a huge flub, in my opinion, because LeBron just released his new shoe, and they're going to have the old shoe on there by the time that the new shoe comes out, and it's just going to annoy the fuck out of me. I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh my god!
Record, just so that's
all right. Let's just grab one.
So while they spent all that money on the Nike license, they screwed the.
So as of right now, the tentative date is December 19th.
Okay.
Now to answer our question from before, so let me see in the description, exclusive trading card, lineup NFT, action figures. So in the description, it doesn't seem to say anything about the accessories. However, in the renders, they do have a render of the figure with multiple hands, a basketball, and a flight stand. So I'm assuming that implies that they are included. Just whoever wrote the description didn't do a very good job. Because actually, no, here it is. Here, hold on. Action figure comes with accessories including extra hands, a flight stand, and an exclusive trading card, but doesn't say anything about the basketball. So that'd be the only thing that's questionable is if it comes with the ball, but it is pictured.
So weird.
Oh, I agree. It'd be stupid to be like, here's a basketball fucking player action figure with no basketball.
If it's multiple hands, they're going to be.
Well, because they even have a hand that's literally the gripping.
Yeah, and it's going to be the hand.
Yeah. So December 19th is the tentative date. So assuming they stick to schedule, I'm making a prediction.
So
Christmas season, we're gonna have Jarmar complaining on OnlyFigs about the fact that he can't find a LeBron figure and they're $150 or $350 on eBay because all the scalpers are buying them up for Christmas. That's my prediction.
Well, my prediction is that it won't be available until February. So
for Valentine's Day, Jarmar will be pissed off that he can't find a LeBron figure and have to hope that his wife feels pity for him and spends $300 on eBay.
No, I would just buy that crazy statue one that has like hair, I think. Wasn't there one that was like very, very, very detailed for like
I don't know.
200.
You're talking to the wrong
Yeah.
person.
No, we were talking about it one night, but yeah.
Sure. I vaguely remember. I don't think was it a statue or was it a 1/6 scale?
Not a
figure?
statue. I think it was 1/6 scale. Figure.
Okay.
For me, that's a statue.
I mean,
But,
it might as
yeah.
well be because you ain't gonna have room to fucking pose it. So you asked, if we wanted it earlier. You wanted us to end on a positive note.
Oh yeah, let's just still do that. We got a little bit of time. I want to
Not much
know,
time.
like,
We have it 2 minutes.
yeah. So we just make this a 30-second round, rapid fire. If you understood what NFTs were and knew how to redeem them, Nate, what would be like a dream NFT scenario that would make you go, yeah, I'm into it? You can't say nothing.
I really.
Think about like an animated GIF that you owned exclusive. Is there like some scene in a G.I. Joe cartoon or Transformer cartoon that I can make one for you?
I know what you're trying to do. My life would not change one way better or worse if I had a blockchain of a GIF of, even if it was like Bulma doing like bending over like from the movie. I could just watch the movie.
I just was gonna say, if you bought a Transformer and it had a really cool NFT of the Transformer doing its thing, that would be kind of cool. That would be okay, that's cool.
If it did not affect the price, then yes, that would be cool to show the Transformer transforming. Just
yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Think about in the future when the box will actually shoot the projection on your wall.
And it costs
I just don't want to. I was gonna say
it costs
$2,000 on a deluxe scale Transformer. Like,
oh my god!
But positive, yeah, I would be down.
All right, Michael.
Here's the one scenario that would make me excited.
Bulma bending over. No. What is wrong with you guys?
It would be if
she's 40 in the movie. I'm allowed.
Okay, that's fair. That is totally fair. And I'm actually with you. How old is she in Super? I think she had her birthday.
She's 40 in Super, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or late 30s, I guess, because she turns 40 in the movie. Anyway, the scenario that would make me okay with this whole scenario would be solely if NFTs became super popular. Every single figure came with a individualized, numbered, secure NFT that I could sell and make my money back on my figures. So that way I could get all my action figures for free.
Michael answer. The very truest answer.
Or at least half.
Yeah, at least half. Fucking get me a good chunk of my money back since I had to waste it on it. That would be the only positive way, because guess what, baby? Physical media for life.
Yeah.
That's what I was actually trying to get you guys to admit, that the NFT digital future is our future.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
It might be your future, but I'll run in front of a physical version of a train before I collect NFTs.
Jeez. Too bad there won't be any physical trains in the metaverse.
my metaverse character will just be committing drastic suicides every day.
You remember that movie, The Surrogates? Because that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a terrible movie.
Well, we are currently late for OnlyFigs, so if you are a fan of NFTs, let us know in the comments below. And if you're not, let us know as well. Well, give us your opinion on this whole thing, what you think of the starting lineup line, and so far the announcements that have come from it. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this week's show and want more toy-related content. We have reviews, we have the podcast, we have Toy Therapy, we have top 10 lists, we have our weekly purchase show every Wednesday with the recap of OnlyFigs. But you can catch us live 10 p.m. Eastern Time-ish over on twitch.tv/Modern Toy Fair, where we discuss our weekly purchases on OnlyFigs. And check us out Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Modern Toy Fair. Check Jarmar out over on metal.tv/Jarmar Games, right?
Yeah, I just love that. I don't even know if it's real.
I don't. I really don't. I'm just telling people what you've told me to put. I think I put it in the description last week too, even though you didn't give me a link.
I think I did.
You didn't. I think I looked it up based off one of the videos you sent me. Nate, what you got this week? Now that you're back.
Got a new podcast coming out. It is all about the history of Panini. Whether that is the sticker or the sandwich, you'll have to come and listen to find out.
Ooh.
All
I'm
right.
in it. It's pressing.
Hey! Hopefully we'll see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.
Pew, pew.
All right.